Hey guys, it's BovineSuperHero bringing you an OU battle today against Histeria. Main threats on my opponent's side of the field are going to be that Darmanitan because it's going to be hitting everything super hard, and if it's Scarfed, it's also going to be outspeeding everything besides my own Scarfed Thunderous. Also, Gengar could be a problem because I have no resistances to Shadow Ball on this team. Now let's get into the battle. I'm going to be leading off with my Mamoswine Swine Flu, trying to get my rocks up right away, seeing that he has no spinner, and that I can hit everything on his team besides the Gengar for super effective damage. He decides to lead off with Celebi. Seeing that he led off with it, I'm expecting it just to be a defensive Celebi with rocks. First turn I go for rocks, knowing that I can live any hit with my Sash if he wanted to attack right away, but he just sets up his own Stealth Rocks first turn. Here I go for an Ice Shard because it's the strongest move I have to hit the Celebi with. I found it odd that he stayed here with the Celebi because he didn't know my set. I could have meant Adamant Life Orb with Icicle Crash, which would have destroyed that Celebi. But seeing the damage the Ice Shard did, I can assume this is a physically defensive Celebi. He U-turns out into Darmanitan, and I have to stay in because I have no safe switch-ins to a Flare Blitz from Darmanitan. My two resistances to Flare Blitz, Latios and Terrakion, are both 2-hit KO'd by Darmanitan. He goes right for the Flare Blitz and Mamoswine goes down, but I see a glaring opportunity for a Terrakion sweep now. My Terrakion is sub SD and he has nothing to take a +2 close combat or Stone Edge on his team. I go right into Terrakion trying to scare out the Darmanitan with close combat or Stone Edge, both of which would take out the Darmanitan from that range. But he stays in and goes for another Flare Blitz, which annihilates my Terrakion. I'm like, well crap, because I went for the sub this turn expecting him to switch out, and now I can't Swords Dance because he'll break my sub and then take me out with another Flare Blitz. He goes for the Flare Blitz to break my sub, and I go for a Rock Gem boosted Stone Edge. I don't know why I did that. Close combat would have been the optimal play, because I would still have my Rock Gem, but luckily I don't miss the Stone Edge, and I take out the main thing that was threatening my team, but now my Terrakion is at a pretty low amount of health, and I don't have my Rock Gem anymore to hit the Celebi with. He goes out into Celebi, and I stay in with Terrakion, because I'm at too low of health to be of any more use. I go for the Stone Edge trying to get some damage off before he takes me out, but I miss, which is unfortunate. He's easily able to take me out with the Giga Drain. Now I have to decide what to go into to knock out the Celebi. I know his moves are Stealth Rocks, Giga Drain, U-turn, and most likely Recover, so I decided to bring out my Metagross, knowing that he can't really touch me unless he happens not to have Recover and he happens to have Thunder Wave or Hidden Power Fire or Earth Power. I go right for the Rock Polish, expecting him to switch out or stay in, either of which would be beneficial to me. But he goes for the Recover, expecting me to straight up attack him, and he wanted to scout for how much damage I could do to him. So now the next turn I'm going to go for the Meteor Mash. Luckily it hits. I am Adamant Life Orb, so it is going to do a lot, but it's not going to do enough to take him out. I'm hoping to get the attack raise, but I don't. He U-turns out, and I'm pretty sure he has nothing to outspeed this Metagross now that I'm at +2 speed. Unless this Landorus is Scarfed, which I doubt it is because he has the Scarfed Darmanitan. So I go for the Meteor Mash here, seeing that he's not Scarfed, and I'm really hoping it takes it out. His health goes down, and it goes down, it goes down, and it goes down, but he lives. Now right here he goes for the Earth Power. It wasn't really a misplay, but Rock Polish would have been more beneficial because he would have then outsped my Metagross on the next turn, assuming I didn't have Bullet Punch, which I don't. And then he would have been able to get a hit off on whatever comes in to revenge kill him, such as this Latios. Now, I'm not Scarfed, so he would have outsped, and I go right for the Surf, but he would have been able to take a little bit of my health off with the Hidden Power Ice, which would have came in handy for him later in the game. Take him right out with the Surf. He goes into the Celebi, and I don't really know what I want to do. I want to go for the Surf, kind of, because I think it could take him out from there, because I know he's physically defensive, not specially defensive, but it doesn't really even come close. It does about half as much as it needs to do, and he goes right for the Recover. So now I have to switch out, because I can't do anything to him. Seeing how much the Surf did, it only did about 60 damage. Oh, and about the HP thing, I don't use that while I'm playing. I just use it for when I'm recording so that I can tell what sets it had, and I can see if they live with 1 HP. But now I go out into my Kyurem Black to threaten him out. I know he can't touch me. U-turn hits for neutral, but Kyurem Black's super bulky. This is Adamant Choice Band Kieran Black, so I'm going to be doing a lot of damage no matter what, even if he wants to go out into the Jirachi. Seeing how his team is built, it seems like the Jirachi is more of an offensive Jirachi. I go for the Fusion Bolt expecting it to come in, but he stays in with the Celebi, which I could have just annihilated with Outrage, but he goes for the Giga Drain. I think that was a misclick. He probably went for the Recover. He didn't go for the Recover, but he's probably thinking about going for the Recover, but misclicked. He gets a crit. It still does garbage damage. Now I have to switch out, because I'm locked into Fusion Bolt, and the Celebi could just recover stall all day. So I switch back into my Latios, but he predicts the switch and goes for the U-turn to get switch initiative. I expected him to bring in the Jirachi now, but he decides to choose otherwise. He decides to bring in the Breloom on my Latios, which I thought was very odd, because I could really hit him pretty hard with the Psyshock or the Draco Meteor. But now he doubles into his Gengar, which seems like a really dumb play, but he told me that he completely forgot that Gengar is not a Dark type, which is kind of understandable. It looks like it would be sort of a Dark type, but I'm not complaining. I get to knock out the other Pokemon that was majorly threatening my team with Shadow Ball. He now goes out into Jirachi, which is just like, why would you not do that before? But now I have to switch out. I'm locked into the Psyshock. It'll do nothing against the Jirachi. I'm thinking he might just want to go for the U-turn, so I bring in my Thundurus because I can resist it. But he goes for the Fire Punch. I don't know what he was predicting. He told me he thought I had a different electric type. He told me he thought I had a Magnezone on my team, which would have made sense to go for the Fire Punch, because Magnezone would have been a pretty good switch into a Jirachi, seeing that it looks like it's offensive with Fire Punch and being Scarfed. But the reason I outspeed is because I'm also Scarfed, Timid Scarfed, and I'm sure he is Jolly Scarfed. But now I can go into my Kyurem, and after Rocks, it's kind of looking shaky if I can take a Fire Punch or not. So I'm just praying and praying and praying that I can take this Fire Punch to go for the Outrage and knock it out. So I live the Fire Punch, and I go for the Outrage. And now I think, oh, is the Outrage going to take it out? But I'm sure it is, because Adamant Choice Band Kieran Black is a monster. It's way too powerful. So now he goes out into the Breloom, and this is a Poison Heal Breloom, so it's most likely the max HP, max defense sub punch set. So I'm thinking maybe it'll live in Outrage, but I'm doubtful about it, and it does not. It gets knocked straight out by the Outrage. So now I get confused. I only get a 2-turn Outrage, which is unfortunate. And he goes out into his last Pokemon, which is the Celebi. So now it's like, if I get confused, if I hit myself, I'll lose. But luckily I break through confusion. I'm able to go for the Outrage and take the Celebi right out. So, good game, Histeria. That's it for today, guys. Please like the video, comment on the video, and subscribe to see more content. The link to my channel will be in the description. I also made a Twitter, so check that out.